Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nick unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Well, good morning, Coxie. I was going to call you the funny name that I've put on Zencaster here, and that little silence was Waz's brain going, dude, don't do it. Don't do it.
But it's quite a nice name. I'm not offended by today's name. But it might have tripped me down the rabbit hole we just came back up out of.
That's why I didn't want to do it, because, that was thinking brain going, Waz. That is a powder keg, buddy. and my emotional brain was like, no, but it'd be fun, dude. So how are you, Coxie?
People love it when I go on a rant. I'm fantastic now that I've had my rant this morning. I'm feeling awesome. How are you?
We did a private rant this morning, Coxie. Our listeners don't get to hear it.
No,
we created some
they don't.
some secret content.
I think it's best they never hear this one. It should never see the light of day. We'll just delete.
We're going to talk about something else instead.
Yes.
And for those that are completely lost and confused, first of all, thank you for tuning in to another daily Tradie Ronacast. Bit of a heads up, it's Friday, so as is often the case for Friday episodes, we give them a particular title. If kiddies are listening, or if you're listening in the vicinity of small children that aren't inoculated to some adult language, I suggest that you change your current situation or volume level. Before we tell you that, this is a Fuck It Friday.
Shit's about to get real.
Fucks are about to hit the fan.
They are.
So, yes, we're going to do a bit of a Fuck It Friday this morning, Coxie. And that little bit of intrigue at the start is because we've talked about this Fandangled software, which is super freaking cool, that allows Coxie and I to record a podcast in studio quality without us actually sitting in the same room. I've fancied myself at some times or others as a bit of a voiceover guy.
I think you could do it, actually.
I could do some voices for ads for men's cologne. Apply this cologne and she won't leave you alone.
Is that working for you? I'm not sure it worked this week.
No, I think the cologne I applied this week was cow shit. Because I feel like I just went and rolled in the paddock and walked away with shit all over me this week, Coxie.
It's a good thing I can put up with the smell of cow shit.
I've had a bit of a shocker this week, Coxie.
It hasn't been a good one for you, Waz.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll come to that. I'll get to that. But I get to name Coxie in this podcasting software, this cloud-based software that allows me to do my voiceovers. And I have, I think, aptly named you Mummy Podcaster this morning, Coxie.
You have. I don't mind being called Mummy Podcaster. It's preferable to Cocky.
I really
Thanks,
liked
Tammy.
Cocky. I did
not.
Although mine is boring as batshit, it just says Warwick Bidwell.
And it always says Warwick Bidwell. Why do I not get naming rights too?
Well, because I signed up to the software and sorted it all out, so that's my prerogative.
Fair enough. Can I send you a suggestion each week?
I'd be happy for you to call me something. Well, you call me lots of things, but not as many things as I suspect a few people have been calling me behind my back this week. I reckon maybe we should do an opinion poll of what do you reckon some of the names are that people might have called Waz this week?
Well, that can get very dangerous.
Oh dear. So speaking of that topic, Coxie, I really fucked up a few times this week.
It's been a big week, Warwick. It's been a big week.
As I am now able to describe it, I've had a fantastic educational week this week.
That's one way to look at it.
Well, it's probably the most positive way I can come up with, because I've looked at it some other ways and they caused me to seriously think about taking up drinking again as a sport and going for a personal best, or running away to join the circus. But I figured that wouldn't work because no one's allowed to go to the circus during the fucking Rona anyway. So
No.
yes, it's been a big week of learnings for good old Was, and I've gotten to the point on a Friday morning where I'm actually starting to be okay. Just starting to be okay with. Probably the hardest thing for me is that I really feel like I let a few people down in my life.
That's a horrible feeling to sit with.
It is, and I really, like, when I woke up this morning, I was really wrestling with that. I was really, really struggling with that. Not with the fact that I screwed up, and that for any listeners that are in the trade desk, make sure you watch my trade desk live video from this morning in the Facebook group. And if you're not in the trade desk, this would be a point for a word from our sponsors. This program is brought to you by Was and Nick from Tradies in Business. I don't know why I do that stupid American newsreader accent.
I don't know either, but you seem to enjoy it.
It's a bad habit. It's like picking your nose on the bus. It's a really bad habit.
I've never picked my nose on the bus. That's weird.
Really?
That is
do a
weird.
bit of nose gravel?
No. And why would you do it on a bus anyway?
Well, because you're bored and it's like, what am I going to do? I know, I'll pick my nose.
Don't you look out the window?
Through the smeary snot on the window that someone else has left there?
Is that what that is?
I hate. Do you know what? So, time for a rabbit hole.
As we do.
We should have a little sound effect for rabbit holes. Yeah, time for a rabbit hole, Doc. So, I hate. Hate's a very strong word. There's another rabbit hole. But something I really dislike and makes me feel very uncomfortable is when I go to public toilets, Coxie.
Oh, but you're a man. Hello.
Yeah. But when I am want to take a seat in a public toilet and you close the door and I notice things that have been left behind by other patrons on the walls. And I'm sorry if somebody just threw up a little bit in their mouth, but I just think, what is it about sitting on the thinking chair and leaving your nose gravel on the wall? It's like, what's with that? Maybe that's a dude thing.
I have sat on a lot of public toilets, not to
that doesn't sound very
my
good.
advantage. No, just when you travel a lot, you find a lot of public toilets.
True.
They are my most disliked thing to do in my life. However, I have never seen any nose gravel. I've not even heard that term before on the wall. I think that's a dude thing. That is not a chick thing.
Dudes, can you stop it, please? If
that's
you're that bored,
feral.
Just like there's toilet paper right next to you. It's like a tissue. Works just as well.
I just don't even understand that. What?
Me neither. I don't understand why I brought it up either. So back to our regular program. Back to the regular program. So on the bus, no, we weren't on the bus. The bus has got nothing to do with this. That was just more about picking your nose. So I fucked up. And the biggest challenge with it was the fact that I let people down, not that I made the mistake. The mistake I can handle. I've learned lots of things in life. And one of those things is that we all make mistakes. Made plenty. But I got into that space where, tech screws, right? Self-tappers.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly when you're working with metal, wood's just as challenging, I find. And you put one in and you make a meal of it. And so then you put another one sort of next to it. And then you make a meal of that one. And it starts to go a bit custody, because now it's like, fuck, I'm running out of room to put self-tappers in here to hold this thing to this other thing. And so you think, all right, I'll do this one properly. And you put that one in and you chew the head out of it. So then you end up with 17 screws to hold the fucking bracket on the wall that now looks like shit. And the only way to really fix it is to pull it all off, patch all the holes up and start again and do it properly. But you just go, fuck it, I'll just put 17 screws in and that's it, fixed. And I found it really hard to resist the urge to just keep putting more self-tappers in this week to try and fix it. It's like, no, hang on, I'll put some Sikaflex on it as well. That'll hold it. No, it's still a bit shit. Let's get some bog. I'll put some builder's bog in there. That'll fix it. And I almost ended up with this like 4-year-old level of carpentry happening with a few relationships this week. And I had to really stop and do what I did when I was going to call you Mummy Podcaster at the start of this episode, and just stop. Just stand back and go, you know what? If I try and fix this, I'm just going to make it worse. I just have to let it go. Let it go. Is that a song from Frozen or something?
It is. You should know more about that than I would.
Well, I've never watched it.
Oh, I'll have to ask Grace to get you all schooled up on Frozen. But no, you've had a tough week. I agree. I've been privy to a lot of the information. You've had a very hard week. And I can see, particularly for guys, right, they're fixers. I think most guys in my life are fixers.
Yes.
And it's challenging not to fix. And I don't think you can fix this one. This is one of those ones that just needs to be sat with. Several of them need to be sat with rather than fixed. Sometimes you can't fix it. But what do you do with all those feelings if you can't fix it?
I know. How do you just sit back and go, well, I fucked that up and be okay with that? That's see, I can almost, that one, I can get to that place like, well, I fucked that one up. If I just go and stand over here, I can't really see it. If you just if you go stand in the other room and look at it from the right angle, you can't quite see all the marks on the wall. I can sort of do that even this week, but it's the fact that I let some key people down where that's what I want to fix. I want to fix the fact that I let people down. That's a big thing for me. I really can't stand letting people down, and it really knots my guts to feel like I've let people down in life.
So if I were to flip it, and we'll turn this into a therapy session, Therapy with Mummy Podcaster.
Yes. I knew there was a reason I picked that title this morning.
I'll sit you down like I do all my children, and I'll flip this one and say, when people let you down, how does it make you feel, and what would you like them to do?
Exactly.
And that's the truth of it. If you can pull yourself back into that space where you've been let down, and we all have, let's face it, what is it that you really actually want? And I believe it's just acknowledgement. You just want your feelings to be heard. You want to be acknowledged. And that gives you the opportunity for them to understand, I guess, some sort of sense of perspective of where you've come from and your acknowledgement of the situation. But it also gives you the opportunity to feel, not that you fixed it, but I guess feel or come back to your center knowing that you've done all you can.
So basically just like say sorry.
That's it.
Sorry, I fucked it.
And allow space for whatever comes back from that.
And I can't fix it. Or I don't know how to fix it. As much as I'd like to, I'm not going to try.
There's a couple of situations, being privy to your situations.
Yes, you
Some
have
of them
insider knowledge here.
cannot be fixed. And that's not your fault. It's situational to a large degree. And you just can't fix it. You got to step back and either allow them to lead you to a conclusion or be okay that you've done what you can. Therapy with Mummy Podcaster.
Yeah. But it's that stand back and go, well, I successfully fucked that up. And the best thing I can do right now is say, sorry, can somebody else fix that for me, please? Or not, but I'm just going to leave it alone and walk off and do something more productive.
Yes.
Or fulfilling or whatever.
You can come and talk to Nick. There you are.
Mummy Podcaster.
Come onto the podcast and we'll share your dirty air. And
Ooh, wow.
Stick it all out there.
Do you think any of our listeners would actually ever submit themselves to coming on the podcast with us to share their shit and talk about with us?
I can only think of one. I can only think of one. Honestly, in all the people that we regularly speak to, there's one gentleman who's just yesterday joined us on the drawing board for the first time, one of our rockstar tradies, and he is really good at taking ownership for where he's at and what's going on. And I believe he would air his dirty wares and discuss it with us. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think I do. Is he in Queensland?
Yeah.
Well, they all are, so that doesn't bloody help
Yes.
me now. South of you?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think he would be one of the few.
He rocks at ownership.
Yeah. It's an interesting reflex to develop, I think. The whole ownership thing. Which, look, and maybe that's where I've gotten off the rails this week is I didn't take ownership early enough in the piece.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a thing. And look, I'm not out to make this a bloody therapy session for me. It was just, it's an interesting problem that I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that has this issue in life of, making a meal of something and then making it worse by trying to fix it. Usually with people, we're talking about relationships here, but then it's that, how do I be okay with the fact that I fucked something up with someone when you can't actually make it better? You can't undo it. You can't unsay the things you said. You can't unpublish the post you put on Facebook about somebody.
You would never do that.
Oh my gosh, no way. That's a no. That's a hashtag nope for me.
Yeah, that's you would never do that. That is not in your makeup.
No. I don't even like doing the whole public rant thing on Facebook. I really struggle with that as a valid way to vent or air grievances.
Agreed.
But anyway, personal judgment and opinions aside, how do you deal with that, listeners? Have you ever had that scenario where you've stuffed something up, can't fix it for the life of you, and you have to find a way to be okay with it? How have you dealt with that? Have you dealt with that?
It's an interesting paradigm.
Stuck with it.
Do you keep digging the hole and putting in the screws?
Yeah, every time you walk past that bit of the job, it's like, fuck me, I really fucked that up, didn't I? It's just that perpetual reminder. It's like, see that patch on the wall there? Yep, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
that was me trying to fix it with self-tappers and Sikaflex. Should have just left it alone.
Oh,
Call in
God.
the experts.
I have the best visual that I cannot explain on the podcast. It'd be far too. It'd just be going the wrong way.
You will definitely have to tell me what the hell you're thinking, because I can't even imagine what you're thinking right now. So.
No, you couldn't.
Oh dear. Anyway, I want to know what your experience has been, listeners, and maybe you can help good old Was here with a bit of therapy in the meantime.
Was needs a bit of help this week.
Oh my gosh, I'm still not okay with it. Hey, I mean, you can probably tell that. But it's just like, I can't walk away from this yet. I'm still looping back past that bit of the job going, nah, I'm still not. There's got to be a way I can put this right. Other than resheeting the entire fucking wall and starting again, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a product at Bunnings that I can buy that'll just like magically smooth over all of it and we're all good like it never ever happened.
You need to speak to Doctor Who and see if you can borrow the TARDIS.
That's about it, eh?
That's the only way you're going to fix this.
It's going to happen.
Well, one of these situations.
Thanks for your help, Coxie.
No, you're welcome.
That's awesome.
Call it for what it is.
So anyway, let's talk about something more positive than that. But please do tell us if you've had an experience in that regard. I'd really like to hear about it, particularly if it's worse than mine, because then I can feel better about myself because of your misfortune. Help me feel better about myself.
Look, I'm going to do a little mini Chuck Norris here and say these stories are the kind of stories that come out on Friday afternoon drinks, where all our trade deskers. We had a pretty lonely first half an hour in our drinks last week. I don't think anyone got the memo that we were starting half an hour early.
4
but then
o'clock,
it went,
gang. 4 o'clock.
yeah, went nuts. We had heaps of people on the call. It got loose as it always does. And these stories would be perfect. So if you've got a story to share, whether it's worse than Warwick's or not, please come and join us for drinks this afternoon. All you need to do is be a member of the Trade Desk. It's free. Hashtag it's free.
No,
Use the
hashtag,
coupon
it's
code.
fucking free. It's free. And it's fucking awesome. You should see the
is awesome.
testimonials we get from our fans. It still blows me away, Coxie. The comments that people make and the messages people send to us.
It's beautiful. We're
It's
very
just,
privileged to be
yeah.
in the position we are.
It's amazing. Amazing stuff. That's
So you
probably
need to
all
come
for
and join
you.
us. Well,
all-
maybe
all
this
about
week
you.
it was.
It was definitely all about you this week. There wasn't much love for Woz this week.
Oh, dear.
Shit, a brick. Anyway, that would be pretty painful actually. But
It's a bit
join
like
the
having a
Trade Desk.
baby, really, I suppose.
I'm not touching that with
No,
a 20
best
foot
you
pole.
don't.
Not even, Coxie.
Best you don't.
So yeah, join the Trade Desk. Go to tradiesinbusiness.com.au. There's a thing there called Work With Us, and in there you'll find some information about the Trade Desk. It is what is it? It's what is the Trade Desk, Coxie? Maybe this is our problem.
Okay, it's a subscription or a membership. It's DIY business training. It's simple as that. There is a coaching element. You will see us 4 times a week should you choose to take on all the brilliance that is Warwick and Nicole. You will get every...
I don't think you should have put me first in that little thing. Nicole and Warwick.
And you will find all the tools that you need to implement change in your business. You will find all of the scripts and templates and how-to videos and, oh my goodness, what else is in there? Flow charts, the whole lot. It's the whole kit and caboodle. We make it really easy. It's not hard work. Disclaimer, it is not hard work. It's simply replacing one system for the other. And most of us don't have systems, so we'll give you the systems to make everything work.
Yeah. It's an upgrade to the way you're doing things at the moment.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, boom. I'm back. I'm back, baby. But it is. It's not a shit ton of extra work. And I think when we say it's a training program or a course or whatever, people go, oh, fucking hours of watching shit and doing exercises and blah, blah, blah. It's not that. It's actually taking what you're doing now and just making it a bit better, changing it a bit. If it's your sales process or your marketing or your HR or how well you know your numbers and stuff. And it is simple stuff that is just going to make your life a bit easier, actually, rather than harder. So, if you've been listening to this show for a few months, a year, gosh, we've had people join the Trade Desk that have been like, yeah, I've been listening to the podcast for 2 or 3 years and heard you talk about it. And I thought, oh, maybe it's time to have a look. And often the reaction is, holy shit, this is awesome. That's not what they thought. So what we've done is we've made it free so you can check it out. And we'll even tell you to piss off 7 days before your free trial ends.
We do love you. We don't want you to go anywhere, but we're trying to
So
be
you
as
don't have to
transparent
pay
as we
any money.
possibly can be. But we find overwhelmingly most people stick around. Sure, there's some that come, they don't engage much, so they don't get a bunch out of it. And so that's the ticket, right? If you really want to start to kick off your goals, you need to tell me what your goals are so we can hold you accountable. If you want to really get the most out of the training, then you need to show up for all of the things that we do so we can help you. You can pick our brains. You need to invest some time into change. Oh, that's a big, scary word.
Yeah. So here's another little chucky segue. That whole thing about ownership. We talked earlier in today's Fuck It Friday about taking ownership. So if you want to improve your trade business and you're hearing us bang on about the Trade Desk, we've made it free. We've got a shitload of people in there doing awesome stuff. Maybe, this whole thing about, oh, it's too hard or I don't have time. Maybe now's the time to take ownership like good old Woz this week and do something a little differently. Stop pissing people off, Warwick. Anyway.
just going to let that one slide.
Yeah. There's the learning for Warwick today. But look, I share this. Look, you can't look because it's a podcast. Listen up. I share this stuff and I share my dirty laundry, not because I like to, but I hope that you listening to this, that it's somehow helped you get perspective. I'd be surprised if you haven't had a similar experience. You don't have to share it on Facebook and all that sort of stuff. But you know what? If it's helped you, then I'm glad that I went through the pain of this week. And fuck me, it was painful. To help bring a bit of perspective to those of you listening to the show. So, and if not, I hope you had a laugh instead at my expense. That's okay. Lots of people do that.
It doesn't hurt for everyone to know we're human. We also fuck up. We're not the only ones that, or you're not the only ones that get it wrong. We do too. A lot.
Exactly, Coxie. Exactly. Oh, you've just put a beautiful big pink bow on it. Look at that.
I don't like pink. Can we do red?
Red.
Not orange.
You
Not
love orange.
I hate orange. And all our branding is orange.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Righto. Well, that's our Fuck It Friday for today. Have a fantastic Friday. Please join us for a drink this afternoon if you're listening to this in real time. And if you're not, catch up. Come on. Chop, chop. Every day we release these episodes. Yeah.
We do.
Come and join us next Friday. Every Friday, we have a drink, even if
we
it's
do.
water.
Well,
Okay.
some people have water or coffee or tea.
At 4 in the afternoon? I can drink coffee at 4, but...
Well,
I
you
don't
can.
Yeah.
I go hard with cocktails. This week I'm having a cocktail. No, stop it.
Now it's
See,
my
this
turn
is
to-
exactly what happens on a Friday afternoon.
it's
Let's
a
just
Friday
take the piss
kind
out
of
of
a day.
Coxie.
Oh yeah, because anyway, let's nuke that one out offline. All right, let's take this offline, Coxie. And,
All right,
and
come on.
sort
I'm
this
going to strap on the gloves.
out. Some of their gloves. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Toodles.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.